It's episode 6, cooking it with Channin Murrie. Today we're hooking up chicken and shrimp pesto pasta, but I'm doing something a little bit different. Most pestos are made with basil or pine nuts, but today we're doing it with spinach and cashews. So what we want to do first is take some plastic wrap, and you want to get a decent amount where it's wide enough to fit your chicken breast, and you want to cut it and place it down on a flat surface. You want to do about 2 layers of your clear plastic wrap, and this way when you put your chicken on there and you start to beat it, it won't spread all over the counter. You want to keep, salmonella down. You don't want that. So what you see here is I'm placing down my chicken breast, and then after that, I'm going to take and put down another 2 layers of clear plastic wrap on top of that breast. And once again, it's going to act like a sealant to protect the chicken, one, but also to protect your other surfaces as well from being splattered with chicken. Now you want to take a heavy object. In this case, I actually use a saucepan, and that's anything that you feel is heavy in your kitchen you can use. And this is going to help your chicken to cook evenly and to make it more moist. Okay, to a bowl, you want to add some olive oil. And what we're doing is making a little marinade because breast doesn't have fat. So this is going to help give it flavor. Add salt. We have some Cajun seasoning blend, some garlic bread seasoning, black pepper, as well as some oregano, basil, dried tomato blend. You want to blend and mix everything up together evenly, so when you put your chicken in there, it'll coat it evenly. Now, you got a chicken breast, and you want to coat it, all that oil seasoning all over that chicken. Oh man, it's going to make it very good, very moist, and it's going to be a little slight marinade for you guys. You're going to wrap it up with plastic wrap, and we're going to place that into the refrigerator and set that to the side. Now, I want to take my shrimp that I bought raw, very important. Also, it will be veined, another very important thing. And you want to just rinse it off and take that shell off. You find it a little bit cheaper when you buy with the shell on. But if you don't want to do this part, you can always purchase it without the shell, guys. You just want to make sure everything is cleaned very thoroughly. Perfect. We're going to use the same seasonings that we used on the chicken, on the shrimp, and the goal is to make this recipe as easy as possible by repeating the ingredients. You're going to just mix everything up and make sure the shrimp is evenly coated with all the goodness. I'm going to wrap this up as well. You want, whenever you put anything in the refrigerator, you want to cover it. Also, that's just to keep everything sealed and safe in your refrigerator. Now, we got some boiling water, and we're going to add a little bit of vegetable oil and a copious amount of kosher salt, guys. You're seasoning your water so that it will in turn season your noodles. I'm using rigatoni, so these are a bigger oval type of noodle. However, you may use whatever noodles that you may prefer. You want to take a bowl to the side and add vegetable oil to it. That way, when you're adding your noodles to that bowl, your noodles won't stick to one another. And I also actually saved a little bit of that pasta noodle. And once again, you can tell that these noodles are done because they're a little bit malleable. They're perfectly al dente. And then I tossed it. So your container have 2 cups of spinach, garlic, cashews, your Parmesan cheese, and then top it off with your olive oil. Then you want to screw your top on really tight and then put it in and blend it, guys. You can use a food processor. I have one, but I wanted to show you all that you can easily use your home blender and just blend it up, and it will do a good job for you. And as you can see, it blended it very smooth, guys. Now I'm putting it in a jar because I know I'm not going to use all this pesto. And the great thing is this pesto can store in your refrigerator for a good week, guys. Now we want to take our fresh ingredients and chop those up. So I sliced my portobello mushrooms. These are baby bella mushrooms. And then I sliced my red bell peppers, and I want to dice those up into about a 1/4 inch thickness. Definitely want some nice red colors to contrast that green sauce. Now I'm going to take a yellow onion and I'm going to cut about 1/4 of this onion, and you're going to dice this as well into about 1/8 inch size. And then finally our jalapeno. Now jalapeno is optional. I like it because it adds a little zing to it, but you're gonna mince it up anyway, so maybe try it. And then I have my Roma tomatoes, and remember, you always want to take out the seed and then dice those into 1/4 inches as well. Our chicken and shrimp has been marinated in the refrigerator, and we can take out everything since we have all of our vegetables and pestos made. Now to a medium-high grill pan, you want to add your chicken directly to it. Because it's already been marinated in olive oil, you do not have to add any more fat to your pan. Add our shrimp. So we're gonna only cook our shrimp no more than 1 minute on each side. And the reason why we're just cooking it for such a short period of time is just to add a little color to the shrimp, 1. And 2, we don't want to cook it all the way through because we're gonna put it back in the sauce later on, and we don't want our shrimp to dry out. That's one of my pet peeves. I hate when seafood is overcooked. So you want everything to be cooked just right. Now for your chicken, we're gonna cook it, of course, a lot longer because your chicken tends to stay more juicy when it's in its whole state. So if you were to cut your chicken first and then cook it, your chicken gonna be a lot more dry. So we cooking it in this whole state until about, I would say, about 95% of the way. And then what we're gonna do is take it and sit it to the side and let it rest for a good at least 10 minutes. And what this is gonna do is allow the juices to cool. And when things cool, it stabilizes. When it's hot, the juices spread out, and that's how your chicken gets dry. And now we're slicing our chicken into about cubes, and as you'll see, it's a little red still in there, and that's okay because once again we're gonna finish cooking it in our pasta. But what we want to do is just try to make sure our protein stay as juicy as possible. Now to a pan, you want to add your olive oil, and then we're going to add our onions and our bell peppers. And what we're doing is setting the base. Usually you want to put the things that are a lot tougher, and you want to start with those first. So that's why I always start with my root vegetables like onions, and then I add my bell peppers. And you want to season throughout this process. So you want to add your kosher salt, and just a little bit. You don't overhand it, but enough to flavor each layer. Next, add your shallots and your jalapenos. And these don't cook as long, so that's why they came in second. Now we're gonna go ahead and add our mushrooms. And we're gonna let these get a little bit softer. So you wanna cook the mushrooms until they're a little bit more soft. Translucent and add a little bit more salt. And I also added a little bit more olive oil because mushrooms tend to absorb fat quickly. Now, as you can see, we added our chicken and our shrimp. And so this is where you're gonna finish off that process of cooking. And also let it be known, while that chicken was resting, it was also cooking to about 98%, okay? And now you're gonna add your tomatoes because that's the least amount of time it takes to cook anything. Tomatoes cook very fast. And after everything has been evenly coated and got to know one another in the pan, we're gonna go ahead and add our rigatoni noodles. Now, what you want to do is probably add half your noodles and see if that's enough, so you can have a nice ratio of your meat and vegetables to your pasta. And then if you need more, you can always add more. After which, I would say I put in about a 4 to about a half of that pesto mix, and then I blended it. Once again, you can add a little bit, and if you need more, you can always go back and add more. Remember, you can always add more. Typically, it's a lot more difficult or it's impossible to take away. And you want to, once again, make sure the sauce is evenly coated over everything. And then you want to, once again, season. You want to season constantly over and over through each layer. And I put the exact same seasonings that I marinated the chicken and the shrimp, so that it's going all the way through the dish. Lastly, I want to add some more Parmesan cheese, and this is going to give you that gooey factor, guys. You don't have to put more cheese, but I'm a cheese lover. To a large plate, you want to add your pasta, and we're plating it in a family style. And then you can top it off with some more Parmesan cheese, and then sprinkle some red pepper flakes just to add a little touch. Thank you for watching another episode of Cooking It with Channin Murrie. If you enjoy, hit that like button and please subscribe. Stay tuned until next time.